He went in post game and was like talking to the manager. He was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, like Tyler, Justin's friend." And then he was like, "Bro, you spent 30 minutes in my office yesterday, like telling me how to like right the ship of the team after our loss." But like, okay.
Like the manager of the Boston Red Sox. Welcome to Never Offside with Julie and Kat. Today is very exciting for me because my very close friend Courtney Turner is coming on, and that's exciting for Julie too because we love baseball, and this is our first baseball theme.
I love it. I'm so excited to get into the mind of a baseball woman, a baseball wag, I guess.
She will hate you for saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate myself for saying that, to be quite honest. I hate the term wag, but it is what it is. So excited to chat with her coming up here next and just learn kind of all the ins and outs, and just so exciting. The Cubs, her husband plays for the Cubs, and heading into playoffs. Playoffs start today when this airs. So
yeah,
it's going to be fun to get into that world, and hockey's in full swing. I feel like Jeff is playing his first preseason game tonight, which Kat, we were laughing because you were like, Tyler played his like first game like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, Florida had like kind of started a little bit late here for the vets. So yeah, it's like so exciting. I'm actually going to take the boys. I love to do a dress rehearsal with
smart.
With
new
the
team
boys.
Too.
New team, new everything. So I'm a little nervous, like anxious, in terms of like, where do I park? Where do I go in? Where do we sit? Where do we do all that? Yeah, I feel like, maybe it's because I've had like 3 shots of espresso today too, but who knows?
No, it's an anxious feeling. The first game's always anxious. I don't know. Even like the first goal, the first anything is just an anxious, like.
I'm waving to Jeff now. Like I'm waving to him because it is, again, routine is coming back. Like he had his first pregame nap today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, wait, I can't be in the room from this time to this time. So like I literally got ready at like 10 a.m. to go do our whole afternoon because anyways, it's just, It's funny that it's all, it's
big day.
Yeah.
Big day for you, big week for us. We're up against each other in fantasy this week. Wasn't going to like really like rub it in, but USC beat Michigan State in football.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's a big rivalry week here for me and Kat.
You didn't text me back that night. I was like, are you watching the game?
Yeah, no, definitely probably was not. Again,
in terms of fantasy, though, funny. Let's tell everybody what we decided this year for we're in a league together that I commish, and there's a few other hockey gals in it. One being Jackie Quick. We want Jackie on the show so bad, but she keeps saying I love you, but no. So she loses every year in fantasy. She is so bad at fantasy. It's hilarious because she's so good at she knows sports so well. So we decided that whoever loses in our fantasy football has to come on the podcast.
Yeah,
hoping that
hoping it's Jackie's turn for like a 3rd year in the row. But honestly, it's a win-win for us because we have quite a interesting, fun fantasy league. So whoever loses, it's going to be a win-win. But we're really hoping Jackie loses because we need Quickie on here. So,
well, you know what's funny? So we always talk about manifesting on this show. And last week when we were talking about like stories from the summer was so long. So like, I was like, I don't know what I did this summer. Like it was so long. Yeah. But I thought about Jackie because we have this plan to get her on the show. The craziest thing happened this summer when we stayed at their house for a week. Their dog's name is Stevie Nicks Quick because they love
Stevie Nicks Quick.
Yeah, they love. Yeah. And the craziest thing is Ty and I love Stevie. Like whenever we go to their house, we are just like obsessed with this dog. And we were saying bye to Stevie. We always do this grand goodbye to their kids and the dog, whatever. We go to our flight to Toronto, sit down on the plane, and we are sitting next to Stevie Nicks.
Come on.
Ty and I, like right after, like an hour after saying goodbye to the Quick's dog, Stevie Nicks, we're sitting next to Stevie Nicks on a flight to Toronto. And I was just like, all the manifest weirdness in this world.
Meant to be.
Especially on this podcast. So anyway.
Well, we've officially, we've also changed our quick shootout questions to
we're really just obsessed with Jackie Quick on this podcast. So.
Jackie, if you're listening.
Crazy. But yeah, anyway, good luck tonight on Monday Night Football. And one of us will prevail for Never Offside.
We're neck and neck. So we will keep y'all posted. But up next, we're going to chat with Courtney Turner. She is a podcast host herself, Holding Court. She is a baseball wife to Justin Turner, and they are heading into playoffs with the Cubs. And we talk all things from how she manages a 162-game season to filling out our first MLB yearbook and so much more. And that's up next with Court.
Welcome back to Never Offside. It is only fitting that our first baseball wife, baseball guest of any sort, is my best friend of a billion years. She's married to Justin Turner on the Chicago Cubs, and she has her own podcast called Holding Court. So we're kind of playing a reverse Uno on her right now and asking her some questions. So welcome, Courtney Turner.
Hi, thank you. I'm a little nervous being on this side of it as being a control freak, but I'm ready.
I mean, I understand.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you, and I kept telling Kat, don't tell me anymore. I need to be just so naive going into this conversation. So Perfect. I'm thrilled to talk to you all things baseball. Congratulations, by the way. Playoffs start tomorrow, and you guys are rolling. That's exciting.
It's wild, and I feel like I should be used to it at this point, but we've been out of the playoffs for a couple years. Justin's been on a few different teams, but this year they clinched the playoff spot, but then the home field advantage was still up in the air. So it was kind of going against the Padres, and then your scoreboard watching, seeing what they're doing, and then you want to play those games at Wrigley, because I feel like Wrigley Field in October is just magical. So we really didn't know if we were going to be flying to San Diego today, but they ended up getting it done, and we get to stay here, and we don't have to get on a plane, which is, as you know, always very nice to play at home.
It's so fun. Home field advantage, so cool. But I do need to know, like, the get-go, the beginning, like, how you and Kat met. So where did it all begin, Courtney?
Kat and I met at a Super Bowl party that she was hosting, and our mutual friend, Jason, invited me and said, I have this friend, like, let's head over there. He actually had a few Super Bowl parties that we were going to pop in and out of throughout the day, but we ended up at Kat's for the last one, and I feel like just matched vibes and weirdness and all sorts of things. So we hit it off from there. And I won't say how long ago that was, but we're getting up there in years together, I will say. There's some miles on us for sure.
So that makes me laugh because I was asking Kat if I had permission almost, because I know how sensitive it can be on our end, but we kind of all have something in common that we're like the old folks in terms of sports. Is that the same in baseball? Do you get it as much as we do? Like, what's the pulse there, since we are up there in age and we've been doing this for a long time?
Do people call Justin old?
No, when Justin I always say that there's this challenge of like Justin stepping up to the plate without an announcer mentioning his age, or literally do a shot every time they're like, it is a walking miracle that he is still out there. So, and then it's funny when the wives are like, wait, how old are you? And then I tell them, or I have them guess first, just because it feels good sometimes. And then they're just fully shocked. I'm like, well, did you think Justin was dating like this child? Like, I don't know. Like, they did not think we were similar in age, but no, he is definitely, I think he's the oldest position player in baseball right now. And then I think pitcher-wise, there's two guys, maybe two or three that are older than him. So I don't know how this happened. I feel like I'm like a teen mom. I'm like, how did I get here? Like, I really don't know. I ended up on that side, but I still try. I'm like, I'm still cool. Like, I'm still hanging with the younger. They keep me young, Like,
you're a cool mom.
Yes.
You know what's funny? If you ever hear a fan say Justin's old in the stands, that's a fun thing to hear Courtney.
I get spicy out there. But they also say it as a negative, and I'm like, wait, you're sitting here like paying to watch my husband live out his dream, first of all. So we'll start there. But it's like, that's not a negative that he's still playing. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, I'm very proud of him that he's still going. So
with the age thing, so I referenced the last game that Court and I saw each other was when Justin played against San Francisco, and there was a little incident in the stands where she got a little spicy towards a man that was going off on Justin's age. But another thing that happened on the field before you got there was I didn't realize that the San Francisco fans, who are now Tyler's fans, hate Justin.
Yeah.
because of LA.
I think it's just like the Dodgers-Giants rivalry. There's a few teams. Padres still boo him. I don't know if Mets do. There's just like a few along the way. I'm like, oh, we're still doing that even though he's not with LA anymore. And
Yeah, the NHL posted a photo of Tyler, Michael, who Courtney met Michael, our child, and Justin, and literally all of the San Francisco fans were like, what? Why is Ty with Turner? And I was like, oh my God, the LA fan.
The realization that Michael is closer to my son's age than our age, which is
Yes,
lovely.
that was a fun
No, it's funny because the guys in the dugout will look at Justin and they're like, wait, what? Why do they hate you here? Because they just don't they don't get it. And he's like, oh, it's like the rivalry years ago. Like they're still holding on to it. I'm like, once a Dodger, I guess always a Dodger rival in their eyes.
Court, should we talk about how you met Justin?
Yeah, I need it all.
I can, yeah. So I think I was back in Indiana, and Kat promised me that this party that she was going to be like the event of the year. Like it was the Met Gala for Kat in terms of like her. All
roads lead back to the Super Bowl with Kat.
It was an X Games party too. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, it was the X Games. What was it? X Games, like hosted by Young and Reckless. If you remember that, like clothing company, like the Rob and Big. I think it was Rob Dyrdek's birthday.
Yeah,
too.
And I was in that kind of group at the time.
Tied in. So she was like, make sure you come back to LA. Like I was like, okay, I'll be in town. Don't worry. And we went. Like we threw on our finest Forever 21 and like our patent leather. Yours were probably Steve Madden. Mine were definitely Forever 21 at that time. You were a little leveled up than me. Went to this event and it was like guest list only, like whatever. And then we're hanging out. I think it was Too Short and like Cali Swag District started performing. I was like, I don't know.
It was the event of the season. It was the event of the season. I was working for the Dodgers at the time, and the Mets were in town, and I worked on the field. So, like, I was very visible, like, because I was, like, this little 4'11" blonde girl.
She wasn't very visible, like, in terms of height, but she made herself known. She made herself known on the field.
I mean, I was kind of just, like, I was the girl that went up to guys and asked them to take a picture with a celebrity, you know, and, like, Justin is the most talkative human ever. So, like, who was the celebrity that day?
Oh, take your pick, Kat. This was the event of the year. What do you mean? Everyone was there. No, so whatever.
On the field.
Oh yeah, but there was like these like performer like Cirque du Soleil. I don't know. It got weird, and I was like, Kat, I have to work in the morning. I had an internship at UCLA. I was working with like infants and toddlers, so I'm like, Kat, I gotta go. But I think I was staying at your place or something, like you had my key, something where like I had to wait on you to leave. But Kat, as you know, social butterfly, has to be the person that like says bye to everyone. And I'm like, I'm an Irish exit. I will just leave. I don't give a shit. No one even remembers that I'm there. But she's like, I have to say bye to my people. And so she's like making her rounds and I'm standing there like looking how, you know, you would look if you're ready to go and you're over it. And Justin comes over to me and he's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I was like, I'm ready to leave. Like, my friend's saying bye to everyone. And he's like, well, why don't you at least come up and have a drink with me while you're waiting on your friend? So I went up and I think he made
with
me
the Mets. It was
some
the table
sort
of
of,
the Mets.
Yeah, some sort of like concoction. I didn't know that they were like, the Mets at the time, they were like wearing, they used to dress up. And so they were all in like button downs and like dressed like very out of place.
They looked like farmers. They looked like fancy farmers.
Actually. Yeah, it was very interesting. And I remember a girl like spilled a vodka crayon like down my Forever 21, and she's like, "I hope you sleep with all of them" or something. And I was like, "Okay, whoa, clearly I like stepped on some toes." And I know it was very sticky. And then Kat came and she's like, "Okay, I'm ready to go." And I was like, "Well, now I'm like talking to someone, so." Cool it.
And Justin recognized me from the field, which was funny. So it was like a weird
so funny.
Yeah.
And then
we met in the club.
Love in the club. Love like literally Usher's song is about Courtney and Justin.
The most unlikely place, but we found love. We did. So thanks to Kat for feeling the need to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah. Party of the century, stuck around. That's how y'all met.
Yeah.
The loves of your life. Well, you met the love of your life.
Yeah.
And then
then he got non-tendered. So then that's where that
released.
That was our,
non-tendered for like translation.
Is that what that means?
Yeah. And
so,
then in the 11th hour signed with LA. So we ended up not having to move. Yeah. We moved eventually because he was crashing in my guest house I was renting at the time. But it worked out.
So we all became LA together, which was crazy because all of a sudden Justin was my coworker.
Yeah.
And
oh, right.
yeah. So it was a wild thing where Courtney went from giving her a goodbye party to New York to all of a sudden we're all like family on the same team together, and it was beautiful for a while.
So the four best friends just frolicking along in LA, doing all things exciting, going to the biggest, baddest parties that Kat is telling you to go to.
Well, so we were a trio for quite a while. I was, again, their third wheel, whatever, and then entered Tyler.
Tyler came later.
Tyler came later, but the funny thing is, at that time, Courtney and Justin had moved in directly next door to me. So we were not just like all working, playing, whatever. We were living next door to each other, and then entered the hockey guy. And then when Tyler entered the chat, we, like I said, Justin became the Kings mascot. Ty became the Dodgers mascot. Every event we did together, it was a fun thing going. And here's a fun fact why this is so crazy is because Courtney, do you want to tell what your job was for the Kings?
Long retired. I was ice girl.
Wow.
So Courtney, before I even knew her,
but I was pre-Tyler. I was pre-Tyler era.
Okay, I need like a whole.
It's an unraveling. It's like there's
timeline. Huge... Okay, so this was prior. This was a lot of like manifesting. This was all going to come back together.
Yeah, before we knew either of our husbands existed, Courtney was an ice girl. I worked for the Dodgers, and then we just like this weird universe swapped. Yeah. And me knowing nothing about hockey, I'm now married to Tyler, who played for the Kings, and then.
Do you know about hockey now, Kat?
I do now, yeah.
Jury's still out.
I do now. But
you watched a goal the other day, so.
I did watch the goal. But if you were to ever tell me I'd have a podcast about sports, I would have thought I would have had a baseball podcast. You know what I mean? Like I would have thought it would have been like Dodgers about.
Well, it is today, baby. So.
Yeah, today.
This is your time to shine.
Finally, only took one season. Now we're talking baseball.
Yeah.
So Justin and Tyler are always getting interviewed about each other on all these teams they play for, especially when Justin was in Toronto, which we'll get to. But the funniest thing is Justin is so well-spoken and such a great interview. And he'll say, like, they'll ask him about Tyler, and he'll say, you know, oh, like, we're such good buddies. I watch every game. We text after every game, all this stuff. When they ask Tyler about Justin and their friendship, what does he say?
We text? Isn't he? What did he say? Like, we text?
He says, like, we text, yeah. Like, as if they don't know each other. Like,
Justin gave this, like, glowing review of Tyler and, like, all of his accolades and, like, their bromance. And Tyler's like, we text.
Yeah, Ty's like...
discredited everything they've built.
I don't understand. Why can't he say to a reporter, we're all really good friends. Like, we text after every game. Like, we make sure to see each other on the road. Tyler not being able to say a freaking good thing about Justin in an interview is the weirdest thing that we don't understand, and we never will after 10 years of friendship with them.
Okay, let's just stay while we're in LA. You guys are playing for the Kings. You're playing for the Dodgers. Like, you guys won the Stanley Cup, Cat, during that time. Like, what was that like? Were you guys involved in, like, post-season hockey celebrations? That would have been, like, in the beginning of baseball season, right?
So the Stanley Cup, I credit for meeting Tyler, because that's how we know each other, because they kept coming to the stadium with the Stanley Cup. And Justin's probably the one, like, hoisting in every photo, probably, because Justin's just the most personal, was and still is the most personable guy on any team.
I kind of hate him for it. It's like... He could get a call right now and they're like, we need you to go live on the radio, and he'll give like the most beautiful interview of all time. I'm like, I hate that, but
that's
fine.
A gift.
You enjoy. Yeah. Enjoy it.
Yeah. So he's probably, if you Google LA Kings bringing the Stanley Cup to Dodger Stadium, it's probably all photos of Justin with the guys, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
But
he loved it.
So we did a lot of crossover there. And then I think after, was it the year that the Kings won after, did Justin go drop the puck? I don't know. I feel like he dropped the puck a few times.
That was, that would have been, because it was right the day before his 30th birthday. So I think he dropped it in 2014. So that was like that first year.
Yeah. So the Kings won 2012 and 2014. So Justin was heavily involved with the Kings during all that stuff. Has he touched the Stanley Cup? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because I don't know. Ginge is super, I call him Ginge, sorry. Justin's very superstitious. So I don't know
think he has.
Yeah, I feel like most athletes would not touch the
Yeah.
other trophy, like no matter what trophy it is, unless you earned it. Like that would.
Or you're like Justin Bieber. I feel like that's something he would do.
Yeah.
Or Drake or whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, I actually now I want to look at all these photos because he's probably heavily in the photos, just like not touching it. He's probably
Yeah,
you
I don't
what
know. But like they want, I don't know.
Bob,
good
fact
question.
check us there.
Yeah, we need Bob to fact check.
I'm
and
like,
see
hey,
if
babe.
Justin's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring him in here.
Ask him.
He would give us the most beautiful answer on
Oh, yeah.
why he did
How much
not.
time do you have?
Yeah. All day.
I would
He would.
slowly just be like pushed out of frame and he would just take over.
All day, baby. So you guys went from LA to Toronto?
So 9 years in LA and then Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
So they
For
won
a
in
year.
LA in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year in LA was 2022. Boston was in 2023. Toronto for the first half of 2024. Then traded to Seattle. And then this year, Cubs.
Wow.
Is Justin one of the only baseball players active that's like won every World Series? Like, you know what I mean? Didn't he win like Little
Like College
League?
World Series. He never was in the Little League World Series. He was in
okay.
like the Connie Mack World Series and then College World Series. And yeah, I don't think there was many that have done. He had a teammate that won the College World Series with him and then won with the Nationals. But like that's, I mean, I'm sure there's a few, but I would brag about it more. I don't think he talks about it enough. I would let everyone know.
I think we need to find that out. Okay, so I want to know about these baseball families and you as a wife, and now you have a little one coming along the way. Like 162 regular season games, like blows my mind. Like, you do ever see him? I mean, I know you guys travel, like it's different because like in hockey, we play 82 games a season. But we don't really travel with the team. If you go on a road trip, it's kind of on your own. You're really only seeing the guys if they have like a free night before, and then you see them after the game quick, and then they're off to their next city. You guys are like staying in one city for 3 or 4 days, and you're traveling. Like, how is it working? Because it hurts my brain to know how y'all do this for almost a year.
I feel like it goes by really fast. Like yesterday was our last game of the regular season, so all 162 are done, and I feel like it went by incredibly fast. But no, I feel like so if we're at home, they normally go to the field for a 6:40 game. Like he'll leave around noon, so breakfast is kind of like our favorite time. Like we get our mornings together, but by the time he gets home, it's bedtime. Like it's 11 o'clock, but then they need those couple hours to kind of wind down after. So you just really get like a couple hours in the morning and at night. This year, I feel like having Bo, like we try to do, normally road trips are 2 cities, so it's like 3 and 3 or 4 and 3. So we would normally pick one city and go to that one. But really, like, you're on your own, like making memories on the road. Like they can do stuff in the morning, but do you really want to have them go walk around at the zoo for 3 hours and then go to the field and go play a game? Like that's not ideal. You see like the young couples doing that where they want to try to like get all that stuff in, and then like as they get through their career, you're like, okay, let them rest and have their time. But I love it. I've been to all 30 stadiums. I love the travel side of it. I always say like, oh, I just wish I had a day where we had nothing. But then if we have nothing going on in the off season, I'm bored out of my mind. So I think I kind of thrive in the chaotic travel sense of it. But I feel like baseball does a really good job of including the families, like making us a part of it, doing different activities. Like they have a family trip normally where the families get to fly with the guys, and then they'll plan stuff in that city. They open up the field at Wrigley for us after the game. They have like a kids room at the field, so moms can have their kids in there and be at the games and have that time.
How many stadiums has Bo been to?
He hit 20.
Wow.
This poor kid. Yeah, I got this. It's like called MLB Passport, and it's a leather-bound book. And then each stadium has a little area, and you go to the guest services at every stadium, and they'll stamp it with the date and sign off on it. And then you kind of fill in the box score for that day, and you can add photos. But I started that for him, so we have 20. So for no other reason than the passport book, I need Justin to keep going as long as possible so we can get him to all 30. Sorry, babe. It was cool because I got it for him actually, and he'd already done a couple, but it's like this old-timey guy that does it, and so it's kind of cute. But you can give him the dates of stadiums that you've already been to, and he kind of like, he has a stamp so he can like backdate them for you. So I had to do that for like his first 5.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
That
And
is.
Bo is just over 1 year old, so Bo already has been.
I know. He's a stadium chaser. I don't know.
I love
I don't know
that
what to
for
say. He actually loves it. And now I think obviously he has no clue like what, he'll just be like, Dada, when he sees him on the screen. But he sees the baseball field, and at Wrigley, like I said, they open it up after every game, and the mascot's out there and he can crawl. So now he sees any baseball field on the road, and he like gets visibly upset that we're not taking him out there immediately to crawl around the field. I'm like, there are rules and boundaries here, and we have to wait until the game's over. And not every stadium lets you go out there. So
yeah,
a little cocky here.
Yeah,
disappointed. So we got to humble this kid. Like,
right.
Not every day.
It's these athlete kids. I'm like, I have to remind my boys every day. I'm like, nobody gets to go to as many hockey games as you get to go to. And like, it's crazy once they get older and it's starting to click like, oh yeah, this isn't like just a given sort of thing. But
like, you can't go in every locker room. And
yeah,
I know I grew up going to White Sox games, and I feel like we'd go when my dad got tickets through work, or I would go with friends where you'd like bring a Pepsi can and you'd get a free ticket. That's how like sad the White Sox were. But we were sitting like up in no man's land, and I'm like, okay, this kid has like the best seats through the family section. Like, I gotta humble him at some point, because we can't be expecting this. But I don't know, it's cute to see. And obviously, like, we had him kind of later in Justin's career, so he's not gonna like fully grow up around the game unless Justin
but just having the pictures.
Justin's gonna be in the game forever. What are you talking
I know.
about?
I'm not gonna lie. No, when he's done playing, he's gonna go straight into something. He likes to say that he'll be away from it, but we all know the truth. He'll be like, then it'll be your time, baby. I'm like, no, it'll forever be your time. But I love that you say that. That's very thoughtful.
Well, what do you think, like, most likely he would first do?
I could see him being like a hitting coach out the gate, or like an infield coach, and then managing. I think he would do really well. I think that's scary, because I think like, you never pray. I don't know. You think about it from like our perspective and like fans and like criticism. Like, no one's ever like, wow, that was a masterclass by the manager. But if like the game goes south, they're like, why did he do that? Like, why did he hit for that guy? Like, why did he put that pitcher in? Like, you really it's like an umpire. Like, no one's like, wow, what a great job. Like, you're only mad at him when he like misses a call, right? So
yeah,
I'd have to turn off the comments at that time of our life.
I'm like,
So what does a typical game day look like for Justin? What does it look like for you guys?
Well, like I said, he's going in at like noon, gets to the field. It's funny because I feel like fans don't realize that they go early. Like, they assume it's like a 7. I feel like it's for you guys too. Like, oh, the game's at 7. Like, they pull up and park with everyone else at like 6 o'clock.
Baseball's a little different though, because they kind of chill. Hockey, they just like go.
No,
right?
he'll get there. Like, I feel like he'll eat. They'll do a crossword together. Like, a bunch of the guys do a crossword, and then they have like their hitters meeting, and like, you know, get all the scouting reports on the pitchers and all that. And then I feel like they do like their on-field work, but there is a lot of downtime. Like, I feel like they're there a long time and they're working, but like, they do hang out a lot, which I think is good. I feel like that time's important.
Yeah, Dodgers had like full on like ping pong tournaments, I feel like, before games.
Are they taking naps? Because like the naps at hockey are a big deal. Are they taking naps while they're at the
I think they have a quiet room, and it's one of those like zero gravity chairs. I remember Dodgers had like a full nap room when he was there, but I think here they just have these like relaxing chairs, and sometimes like guys will go in there and take like a 20-minute, but I don't think Justin's a napper because there's social things happening. So I think he's more likely to just be like bopping around and like in different guys' offices and like talking to different staff and all that. And then for me, it's one of those things where I feel like you can understand this, where like you're going about your day and you're like, oh my gosh, it's time to leave for the game. What did I do all day? But it's a little different with Bo now. But yeah, just I stay busy with obviously my podcast and the foundation and Bo. I feel like the stroller walks, like it's a big part of our day now. Like have to get outside. I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where like I can't really tell everyone what I do all day, but I know that I'm very busy.
Yeah. And then it's game time, and then it's like day 2 starts during the day. I feel like getting ready and going to the game is a day in and of itself, because then you get home at like God knows when, and then it's like bedtime, full on kids to bed is crazy.
Yeah, and the Cubs have all day games on the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday are all 1:20. Which it's nice when you're a visiting team and you come in, because a lot of wives will come to the Chicago series because it's like summer in Chicago. You don't want to miss that one. Right. And you get to go to dinners at night and have date night. But I feel like during the season, sometimes you're on that third one on Sunday and you're like, oh, okay, another early morning. Like he's leaving like by 8:30.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was very thankful for the early ones just because of knowing about you guys' standings. It was a lot easier to, be on the West Coast especially.
Oh, yeah. And their first playoff game, the first they're at 2:08 p.m. But like for the Padres, that means they're playing at noon their time technically. So I'm like, that's an early one. You gotta get going.
That's crazy.
So this is crazy. So Courtney, she's kind of just hinted that she was a White Sox fan growing up. Chicago is your home city.
Yeah.
And now you're back in Chicago, but you're not with the team you grew up with. Like, what's that like?
No, it's so weird. It's funny because when people would ask me my favorite stadiums, Wrigley was always at the top because I just love like old school, like baseball purist stadiums like Fenway, like the classics. So I always loved Wrigley Field, but I, full disclosure, like grew up hating the Cubs. And like I said, like my dad worked in the steel mills outside of Chicago, and their family days was always at the White Sox stadium, like very like blue collar team. And so I just gravitated towards them and became a huge fan of them. And I will one day return to fandom when Justin's done, unless he's managing, of course. But no, it was very weird when he was talking to them. But I always said, before you're done playing, like, just give me a summer in Chicago because it's my favorite city. I just thought it might be on the south side instead. But no, I will say it was funny because in the beginning, like you buy the gear of the new team, my friends were kind of calling me out because I was just wearing like shirts that said Chicago, and they were just like the very like generic ones,
fully
and
committed.
And they were like, "Come on, Courtney, like where's the C logo?" And then I finally like bought a hat for opening day, and they're like, "Okay, you're getting there." Yeah, it's been
You've
fun, but
in.
yeah, and again, like I'll support Justin no matter what. And our experience has been amazing. Like even when we're here as a visiting team and through playoffs, like the staff is incredible. Like I know it's like the cheesy thing they call it like the friendly confines, but it is truly like top to bottom. Everyone is so nice here, and it's just I feel like they really want the families to have the best experience, and so. I don't know. I will forever have love for the Cubs no matter what.
Courtney's a very loyal person, first of all, but very loyal in sports, too. So I was like, this must have killed her a little bit.
Yeah. I was like,
okay, but that's like, this is funny with both of you guys are back in your, like, somewhat hometowns with your hubby's teams. Like, Kat's just outside of Monterey and you in Chicago. Like, your guys' story is quite wild and, like, the same but different.
Yeah.
We like to say we need to stop doing this.
Yeah, we have to stop doing this. Like, why does this keep happening?
I want to know what's next. Like,
I know who's going first, and then we'll know what's happening to the other one.
Well, honestly, when you went to Toronto, that was crazy to me and Tyler. We were like, now they're in Tyler's hometown, and like, it's just
right.
Yeah, it's especially and you guys doing all the stuff with like hockey in Toronto. Like, were you at like a Maple Leafs game, like the first?
Yeah. Justin went to like a game 7 and they lost. The year before he went to like the Celtics game 7 and they lost. And I was like, stop going to game 7s because it's not panning out for you. But it is funny too because our guys like support one another. And so Justin will like no shame, like get Tyler's jersey, whatever team, not caring about if they're in town playing the team that he's playing for. So I feel like that's like where the loyalty gets kind of interesting. He's like, I don't care. Like, I'll wear this jersey now.
Justin so eloquently says that he follows Ty around. He's a huge hockey fan, mainly in part because of Tyler. And then Tyler's like, yeah, I'm a baseball fan. Yeah, I know who Justin Turner is.
Yeah, I've met him a few times.
The craziest thing was Tyler left his Blue Jay fandom for LA. And then as soon as Justin left LA, it was wherever Justin was, is Tyler's rooting for that team. But he just doesn't explain it well, I guess, in the media. But it is how it is, and it's
he likes to keep the friendship low key and private. We like that.
But we know that Tyler loves to go in the clubhouse with Justin though, and he wants to wants so badly to give like the pregame speech and like fire the boys. He's always like, "Can I go in and see the boys?" And I'm like, "You haven't even met this team," but like. He just gets...
This is a new tradition. Actually, not a new tradition, a 10-year tradition. Yeah, it's been a few years.
He's like, can I go in and, like, can I have a beer with the guys? Like, can I go in there? I'm like, okay, let me ask Justin. Like, let me check with Dad. See if you can go in.
Do you want to tell what happened at Yankee Stadium when Justin was playing for the Red Sox? It was Ty's off season, so we'll give it to Ty. Ty had a few beers.
Yeah, he's allowed to let loose. He's earned it. But he went in post game and was like talking to the manager, talking to the guys. He got a little fired up.
He really
Like,
He was in rare form. He was in rare form.
Like fired up in terms of like giving feedback, or fired up in terms of like.
I think he had his like feet kicked up on the manager's
Yeah,
desk.
no, he was in Cora. I think he was in Cora's, like the manager's office, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we're just like shooting the shit," and he had like the beers going. And then the next day, I think he realized it because I think he introduced himself to someone that he had met the night before. Oh yeah, he was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, like Tyler, you know, Justin's friend." And then he was like, "Bro, you spent 30 minutes in my office yesterday, like telling me how to like right the ship of the team after our loss." But like
the manager of the
he also
Red Sox.
Yeah, he also panics if the team is not winning because he's like, "I'm not gonna get to go in the clubhouse, am I?" Like it's like one of your kids. Like honestly, he's like, "Wait, I'm not gonna be able to go in there if they lose." Okay, they need to win so I can go in there. I'm like, okay.
This is funny.
Justin's very superstitious, but Courtney's very superstitious, and she's kind of on Tyler's case right now about attending Justin's games.
We'd be able to pull stats, but like games that Tyler is in attendance, like
Court's vengeance towards
But the
him.
thing is,
not
Tyler
good.
loves going so much
so
that like I don't want to break his spirit, but like Tyler, like when I don't know if it's Justin wants to do well for his very, very close friend that he admires.
So
he's like maybe pressing a little bit. Like it could be a Justin issue and not a Tyler issue. It's one of those things where like Justin gets a single and we are all standing up like losing our minds. We're like, yes, he got on base when Tyler was here. Like we're celebrating like a walk or like a hit by pitch. Like it is like the bare minimum. Tyler's like, okay, yes.
A walk. We celebrated a walk in San Francisco.
Yes, we did. We're like, okay, he's on base. Like, okay, perfect.
Well, another thing that Tyler does is he needs to get Justin to wave to him after an inning. So like Justin needs to be playing well because he needs Justin to wave to him after he's exiting the field. Also in Toronto, something very traumatic happened where Justin threw him a ball and we were kind of up there in the stands and Tyler caught it. But it was like, we have video. It's crazy. But like they have this weird, what you can't do on the ice because obviously our guys are dialed and they're not allowed to like wave, you know, like in hockey.
Right.
But Justin is so calm, cool, collected. Justin's like waving, throwing balls to Tyler.
No, the interaction is very different. And Tyler's like, wait, I get to be a part of the game? This is great. I have like a beer in my hand. I get to try to catch a ball. Like he becomes a little kid.
Yeah,
it's very sweet.
Go in the clubhouse.
All this to say is Tyler turns into a child giddy to be at any sort of baseball event.
Yeah.
Only Justin's, but again, he won't tell you that. He won't.
Enough about these boys. I want to know when did your podcast journey start? Because you know we're peers in this world now. Kat and I are still very much figuring it out. But when did Holding Court start? How did that idea come about? Kind of what's it all about?
It really started during COVID. I had talked about it for a little bit, and actually Lon with the Dodgers, like the VP of marketing with the Dodgers, he was like, you should do this, like this would be a good idea for you. And for Valentine's Day in 2020, Justin bought me the setup, like the whole interface and all the mics and all that. And he was like, okay, like, here you go. No chocolates, no flowers that year. It was like, you said you want to do this, let's do it. And I like didn't open it. Like, I don't know. It's like hard to decide to jump in and do that and like actually take the leap. And then COVID hit and one game got canceled. Tyler was with us that night when like COVID shut down the world in Arizona, and his game got canceled, and then Justin's game got canceled. And the next morning I come downstairs in our condo in Arizona and the podcast is fully set up. And Justin was like, no time like the present. Like, you want to do this? Like, let's do it. And we sat down. I had just ran the LA Marathon the week before. So he literally we hit record and I recapped the marathon and just talked about what was going on. And so it was kind of born through COVID. So just everyone had really nothing to do at that point. So it was like very easy to get guests. And so like finding people to come on. But it kind of started out like a little depressing because it was a lot of like, okay, pandemic and Tiger King and like all this weird shit was happening at that time. And so some people will write me and they're like, I'm starting your podcast at the beginning and like going through COVID with you again. I'm like, just skip ahead, like go to like episode 20, like get out of that time. And I always said like, oh, I don't want it to be too much about baseball. I want it to be my own thing. But like, that's such a huge part of my life. So like, that's silly to say like, it's not going to be about baseball. And I actually think it's fun. It's, you know, what you guys are doing. Like you bring wives on here and show that they're more than just like the girl sitting in the stands watching the game. They have their own businesses and their own foundations, their own projects and skills and talents, all of that sort of thing. So it's been mostly about baseball, a lot about our foundation, and then sprinkles of pop culture and everything in between. But it wasn't natural for me. Like, I feel like I still get anxious when I do it and get nervous for certain guests, but I think it's good to push myself to do it and keep it going. But yeah, it's been 5 years and still going. So
I love it. I love when Kat introduced it to me, Holding Court. Like, I just think it is the best name for a podcast ever. It is.
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
Well, I did, and then I started it, and then you go on like Spotify, and I saw like there's another one that's named that, but it's like this woman that's a lawyer, so she's like actually holding court, in that sense. But I thought it was so clever.
It is so clever. I love.
She's the queen of puns, to be honest. She's always good at puns and captions and stuff.
But now I feel like ChatGPT is just giving everyone all this creativity. So I don't know. I'm going to become obsolete at some point with my witty captions. But
I don't think so. So, in our new podcasting world, I came up with this brilliant idea, and we're asking all of our guests to fill out a yearbook. So you will be our first MLB yearbook. Feel free to answer these superlatives with guys from teams y'all have played with, or even wives across the league. In your whole MLB career, who would you say is the best dressed?
Oh boy, best dressed. They do like Fashion Friday now with the Cubs. So it's like I see Justin in the closet like a little longer every Friday morning, like trying to come up with it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I feel like I have to say Matt Kemp, because he had he was the first MLB player I'd ever heard of that had a stylist. So I'm going to give that one to...
after he dated Rihanna, I feel like he had to.
Yeah, but I remember he said he had a stylist, and she would lay out his outfits and take a Polaroid and then package them up and like put the Polaroids in his suitcase. So I'm gonna go with Matt Kemp on that one. I'm sure it has a way better updated answer in current times, but
no, that's a great answer. Well, kind of the same. Who best high-end bags or man purses?
Oh gosh, I feel like I see Kike with so many very high-end bags and like a lot of them. I'm like, good for you, Kike.
That teal Gucci or Louis, whatever.
I don't even. I'm like, are these custom? Where is he getting these? So I would say, Kike Hernandez on that one. I feel like he might be an answer for a lot of these. So
I agree.
Well, let's try to diversify this so we have a fun yearbook to look at. Who would have the highest GPA?
I always try to think of those like Ivy League baseball player guys. I'm gonna go with a Cubs player. I'm gonna go Nico Horner because he's a Stanford guy. So I'm gonna go with that one. Keep it Cubs.
Yeah,
love it.
A good one. Class clown.
I feel like that has to be Kike.
I said
I was going to give that answer a lot. I feel like he does a good job of keeping it loose. It's the perfect one. The banana suit days, if anyone remembers that. Like
those were the days.
He has no problem like making a fool of himself to like rally the guys and get them fired up. So that's kind of his thing.
Okay, who would be labeled as the most athletic, like could have maybe played another sport professionally?
You guys couldn't have given me these in advance. Like,
right.
I feel like I'm like, yeah, this one's tough. I feel like it has to be like a center fielder, like a Cody Bellinger, or like a Pete Crow Armstrong, like someone that's just super fast.
Well, I could answer this. Best locker room guy.
I can't say Justin.
You can say
Justin. We were hoping you would say Justin.
I mean, I could say Tyler because he thinks he like adds to the team flair. But yeah, I'm gonna say Justin.
Who is one of the funniest couples in baseball that y'all have ever met?
He's retired now, but I feel like I had the most fun with like Scott and Kim Casimir. I feel like he was a pitcher. He played with Justin for a while, and we're still like the best of friends. We did an all-star break in Cabo together, and ended up like that's where we ended up getting married the year after because I feel like Cabo became so fun to us. But yeah, we had some good times with them.
She's the best too.
Yeah.
Best bromance.
Yeah, that one's tough. Because I feel like you could go so many years to think of, so many seasons.
What about right now?
Well, right now, like Seiya Suzuki and Pete Crow Armstrong have this like bromance going on. Like people even made like the Step Brothers shirts for them, and they have this thing where like one of them will hit a home run and then the other one will hit a home run. They hit 30 home runs on the same day, so it's like very like bromancy. But I'm thinking back to like the Uribe days. Was it like Hyun-Jin Ryu and like Dodger
Those were fun days.
That was like the original bromance, I feel like. But yeah,
Yep.
I'll go with Seiya and PC. I gotta keep it Cubs. Like we gotta get in the spirit of playoffs here, so
Love it.
I'll keep it Cubs.
Who would you let babysit Bo?
I'm gonna go with Matt Boyd on the Cubs. He has 4 kids and he is a great guy and Bo loves him. And yeah, I think if you have 4 kids, you can surely handle one 14-month-old.
Yes.
Sweet, lovable
Yep.
baby.
That's good. Okay, quick fan question because Courtney's hockey knowledge is actually far better than mine. What position would Justin play in hockey?
I feel like I just see this photo of him when he played hockey growing up, like as goalie, and that's the only visual that I have of him right now. So I'm gonna go with that.
Justin as a goalie, he'd be talking to everybody.
That's true.
I think he would have to be mic'd up every game.
Do they mic up guys in hockey during the game?
Sometimes. Like, I think
I feel like I've never seen that. They do that in baseball, and I'm like, it is crazy to me because a play will come their way, and they're like not focused, and I've seen guys misplay, and I'm like, can we not do this unless it's like spring training?
Justin would definitely be the Flurry of the NHL, of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Justin would definitely be, he would be playing pranks every game. He'd be talking to everybody.
Animated,
yeah. So Justin Flurry, I could see being
I
the
love
same.
I love that. I love that comparison for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very curious if I will be able to guess this because I know you so well. I asked you to prepare your 2 truths and a lie. What are your 2 truths and what's your lie? And I see if we can guess.
I feel like you should like opt out of this if you know, and we'll
Okay,
see
if I know, I'll just like.
Okay. I was a Dunkin' Donuts mascot. I won a slot machine tournament at Morongo Casino and Resort in Palm Springs. And I was an extra in a porno movie.
My God. I mean, that one sounds the most outlandish, so I think I'm going to keep it as a truth. You know, Kat plays this game very literally, so maybe it was like a different casino that you were at, but I think I'm going to go with the Dunkin' Donuts mascot. You were not a Dunkin' Donuts mascot.
Okay, I will say what I think because I don't totally know. I don't think you won at Morongo. I think you won something different at Morongo.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ah, I knew it. I knew it was going to be a technicality because that's how you girls play it.
I didn't win anything. Well, I've won like some
gotta
jackpots, but
get
I've never
better.
actually played in a tournament at Morongo. But I do spend a lot of time there.
Dang it. I knew it.
She would play the game like me.
Yeah.
But I was Cuppy, the Dunkin' Donuts mascot.
You
and
guys play this game so similarly. Like Kat's lie was like she didn't meet, like it was something about The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson
Yeah.
is my favorite celebrity to work with. I've actually never met him, but he's my favorite celebrity.
I thought he was also your hall pass, but
He is my hall pass too.
God, okay. Everything, it's getting a little weird.
can we just say that I was accidentally an extra in a porno before that? Like, because
Let's just get even weirder on this episode and go into like, can we just know like the clean
what happened
version?
there real quick? What happened? Yeah, clean version.
Very quickly. So I would do extra work to make money when I like first moved to LA amongst other odd jobs. And you would submit yourself and say you were available the next day. And they would put you on like the call list and they would say, okay, you're booked for the show. This is what you need to wear. They said it was like, I mean, it was normally like very high end movies. It would be like Ocean's 11 or like
Entourage.
Yeah, like very like notable shows. And this one they were just like untitled project shooting at like LAX nightclub. And it was a scene that they were filming in a bathroom at LAX. And like we quickly heard and learned that we were extras in a porno. And so I call the like casting person and I'm like, hi Lisa, just a heads up. Like this is a porn. Like I don't know if you, and she was like, oh my gosh, leave right away. And I was like, okay, I kind of need like the $50, so like I'm gonna stay because I'm not gonna be credited and no one's gonna see me. But like I was just giving you a heads up, like maybe don't trust this person anymore. So
Yeah. Oh my God.
it's a part of my past. I left it in my past, but
These are your truths.
it's my truth.
These are your truths.
It made me who I am today.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
All right.
segueing into our Jackie quick hitter, since she won't come on our podcast, that's what we're going to be calling this segment.
Wait, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Dang.
She's the best listener, but that's our call
Shout
out.
out,
Jack. We've renamed this segment for her. What are you guys watching right now?
I have not watched TV in a long time. I'm only watching Housewives of Orange County, and then I watch Wheel of Fortune every day.
Love that. My mom was on the Wheel of Fortune. That's a fun fact.
I was too. I almost made that one of my 2 truths and a lie, but Kat would have known that. Yeah.
Wow.
Courtney's been on a lot of
I've had a lot of lives. I have a lot of lives.
This is amazing.
Dunkin' Donuts, Ice Girl. I mean, porn.
Mascots
you name it.
of all sorts of mascots actually, but that's for a whole nother podcast. Of all the reality shows that you watch normally pre-Bo, which does Justin like the most?
Oh, he gets mad if I watch Beverly Hills without him. Housewives.
Thrives for the Beverly Hills drama.
Like he's like, oh, you're watching this again, and then he'll notice I skipped a few episodes, and he's like, wait, you went without me? But he is notorious for watching. He watched the last episode of Ted Lasso, like this. I think it's done, right? I wouldn't know because he watched it without me.
I think it's done. Well,
to this day, I will not watch the finale, like out of spite. I'm like, you finished without me. That was messed up. So I'll never know the ending.
That's funny.
That is funny. Who have you been starstruck most by? And same for Justin.
I would say Barbara Walters or Martha Stewart. I was like working an event at the Daytime Emmys, and they were both there for their respective shows, and those were like the two. I feel like if I saw Dolly Parton in person, that would be up there too. But yeah.
What about Justin? Has he ever been starstruck?
I feel like they just meet so many guys. He's like a big Kevin Costner fan, but he's met him a ton. But he has a little man crush going. Not a little man crush, like that's probably his hall pass. But
who doesn't?
He's a big Kevin Costner fan. Yeah.
Well, and then fun fact, Martha picked up Courtney's wedding, which was probably full circle moment.
Oh, Martha, we're just on a first name basis.
Martha.
I am not. Her wedding magazine. That was a big deal.
What's Bo's favorite ballpark?
Wrigley, because he's obsessed with the mascot. Clark, and he's just a big teddy bear, and every day he's like, Clark. He won't say mama. If I'm like, say mama, he's like, dada. Like he's just trolling me. But every day, like they'll have little graphics of Clark throughout the stadium, and he's like, Clark? I'm like, yes, we're going to see Clark, baby. Like, don't worry. We just have to play a game first. No, for sure, Wrigley.
He's so cute. Who would play Justin in a movie, and who would play you?
I feel like mine would be Julia Stiles, just because for a solid decade there, I was told by someone at least once a day that I looked like her. Justin, wow, there's limited options there for ginger actors. What was the guy from Game of Thrones? He always gets that Tormund, that guy, remember?
I'm the worst. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly,
that guy.
I feel like,
we'll just go with that guy.
Justin with a beard or without?
I like it trimmed, similar to when we met. So I don't know what it's like, a 3-guard. I don't know what he calls it, but like when it's there, but it's like very short and manicured. But everyone thinks that I have a say in the facial hair and all that. I don't really give a shit. Like he doesn't tell me how to cut my hair. I don't tell him what to do with the beard. It goes, and he cut it for the wedding, like a good amount, but it doesn't really bother me. People, like, it's older ladies that will comment, and they'll be like, love this photo, love your family, but you need to cut your beard. I'm like, okay, calm down.
It's always jarring in November when all of a sudden Justin has no beard anymore, and
he was Chucky the one year, and I was Bride of Chucky, and he fully like bicked it. I was like, ooh, okay, little jump scare. I was not ready for that, because he'll do it without telling me, and then he'll just come downstairs and it's fully shaved. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, you have to do that with Bo, is like get him like, and then he walks in with the kids, and then they're like, Dada?
No, it's gonna throw him for sure.
He'll say mama for sure that day.
Like, please.
Yeah.
Like, come to me, baby.
Your go-to karaoke song.
I feel like I always do Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, which is very bold, but...
Bold.
Yeah. As much as I sing, I don't do a lot of karaoke.
Instagram, TikTok, or X?
X is like so funny to me. I can't quit it. It's like a cesspool of the internet, but like there's some funny shit on there. I'm gonna go Instagram, even though it's getting messy. There's like shopping now. There's too much, but I miss when we just threw bad filters on and that was it.
Would you rather go back to the authentic Instagram where you post the horrible filters, or have to post something every single day?
I sometimes go on runs where I try to post every single day, but I want to go back to the OG. That was when Kat and I were thriving. Yes.
Sepia photos.
When I first had it, I didn't know that people saw your photos. I thought it was like a photo editing app. I was like, oh, this is cool. So I feel like the first few are just random photos.
Would you rather sing the anthem every game or be the mascot every game?
Well, I think everyone would be really annoyed by me, but I would rather sing.
Courtney's sung a few anthems. What ballparks have you?
Dodger Stadium. It was like Justin's last game there, and then Toronto for the Blue Jays. They asked me to sing on Mother's Day when I was...
Whoa.
When I was
sang in
very
one
pregnant.
of Justin's games?
Yes. I never wanted to do it. There were like a few wives along the way that did it, and I feel like people kind of like made fun of them, and they're like, oh, you're trying to like be in your husband's spotlight, whatever. But they asked me to do it like the very last game. I was like, okay, why not? I was oddly not nervous. I think the one in Toronto made me nervous because I was pretty pregnant at that point, and as you know, like the breathing, you like are very short of breath at a certain point. So I was like, okay, it's gonna sound like I just ran a marathon and tried to sing, but
Ty and I were there for that game too, which was fun.
And I had to do the Canadian anthem and the national anthem with 30 seconds in between. So it's like a very
impressive
quick turnaround. But no, it was fun. It was really sweet.
I was literally like the Mean Girls Cool Mom. I was filming it, and I think when you go to a concert and you post like too many concert stories. Yeah. I like posted like so many stories of Courtney singing. It's probably crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, and finally, what is your most perfect off day?
I do love like a really long, good family walk. Like we have a little kind of like a village around our neighborhood here, and I love to go on like the 3-mile loop. Like I know, Kat, you're the walker, but just go on like a long walk, like go to the park, like stop and get a coffee. Where I feel like now as parents, you can only go to like the aquarium and the zoo and
yeah, lay low, keep it simple.
The butterfly exhibit so many times. But
what are you talking about? We did that before you had a kid. That was what we would do together before we would go to like the Toronto aquarium.
Yeah, which we went to that. I feel like now he's aware of where we're at and all that, so it's getting to be more fun. But no, I love a good long walk day and just like catching up on laundry and if like football's on at night or whatever.
All right, well, thank you so much, Courtney.
Thank you
for joining us. Thank you for letting us do the interview. I feel like you should have interviewed us because you're the pro. So
I felt like I was like not prepped. I was like, oh wait, I don't have to do an outline or anything. This was kind of nice. So
well, it was so much fun getting to know you and getting a little sneak peek into the baseball world. And we'll be watching your Cubbies here over the next couple weeks. And just good luck to y'all. And then we'll see you at some hockey games.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Mwah.
That was so fun talking to Courtney. I just love her, and no wonder you guys go back for so long. She's just another version of you, like a woman of many talents, and has had so many lives within this one. And my takeaway is like, it is the craziest thing, talk about manifesting and all that, is like y'all's lives going parallel in somewhat the same form. So I am really anxious to see what next move happens and then where the other one falls, because that is quite crazy.
I mean, yeah, the guys post-career are probably going to coach in the same city somewhere or something. Something crazy is going to happen next. But anyway, we'll manifest for that because those are our closest friends. So
I was dying. And I also was dying at the Irish goodbye thing, that she's an Irish goodbyer, but I'm dying because it reminded me when we were at the Suzuki wedding at their welcome party. I was with Jeff, and then Ange and I were there, and then we were like, okay, it's time to like go to bed or whatever. And they were like, let's just leave. Like Jeff and Angela Price are like Irish goodbyers. Like that is in their blood. And they leave. But you guys, you and Tyler had just come because y'all were coming from the other wedding.
Yeah, we were coming from Mackenzie Uyghur's
the Uyghur wedding
party. Yeah.
So you guys were coming in late just to kind of like do both.
I was shocked you were still there. It was quite late when we got there.
Well, I wasn't. So I literally like we Irish goodbye, and the whole time I was like sweating. I was like, guys, I cannot do this. Like, I can't do this. I need to go back and I need to go say hi and bye to Kat. Like, even if I say hi, bye. And they were like, come on. Like, they'll never know. I'm like, they'll know.
They're never going to know.
We get up to our hotel room doors, and Ange goes into her room and Jeff goes into our room. And I was like, I'll be right back. And I literally came back down to the party. I stayed with you guys for another hour.
Yeah, we took a whole photo shoot with like Tanner Pearson and Nick.
So I'm dying because I cannot Irish goodbye. So I'm laughing that was brought up because it totally brought me back to that story. But anyways.
It's funny because I was shocked that Nick was still there, Caitlin was still there, and you were still there. I was like, wow, I thought we were going to come here and it was going to be just like,
I can't let people down. And I also have to say goodbye. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Tyler, it's not Tyler's favorite thing because then we'll start up a whole nother conversation. And then, like we said, a photo shoot of us two. Like, Like,
yeah.
whatever. That's
So.
fine. All right, well, say your Irish goodbye now.
This is my goodbye. Thank you for listening, everybody, to our first episode related to the MLB. And we'll catch y'all next week, but make sure subscribe, and just follow us on the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure you follow our lovely Instagram, Never Offside Pod.
We're going to be posting a little bit more on Never Offside Pod now because we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you next week.